this hemisphere.
Yes, yes, we're in like off of Mexico there or whatever.
I never got to touch base with you, and then I got busy, and then I'm talking with Rosemary, and she's Councilmember Stewart?
Yes,
Hi, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear us?
I sure can.
Okay, good. We're going to get started in 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, yeah, can I do it? Go on TripAdvisor. I don't think Hello.
Hello, we're about to get started.
Good evening and welcome to our regular city council meeting. We're February 24th. We're so glad you're here. To those of you who are here for consent items, we do have some special awards and announcements and honorees that we will be presenting things to beforehand. That's what makes our city cool, is that we get to honor good people doing great things. So with that, clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Hartke,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rowe,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Lopez,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis. Councilmember Ellis. We'll come back. Councilmember Orlando.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Great.
I did say here. You didn't hear
Okay.
me?
we hear you now. Thank you.
We knew you were there. Very good. Thank you. Our invocation will be brought by Pastor Robert Felix of Chandler Presbyterian Church, and our Pledge Allegiance by Councilmember Harris. And I understand, Pastor, you went to school with our city manager.
I did, yeah. And it's good to be here with you. So thank you for having me here, and greetings from Chandler Presbyterian Church. I was actually planning a different prayer today, but I think Russia's attack on Ukraine demanded a change of course. Ukraine is vulnerable, and Russian leadership has decided to take advantage of that. And it made me think of one of Jesus's traits. He was connected to God, but he didn't use his power to dominate others. He used his power to serve us and to give up his life for us. Here in Chandler, we are blessed to have leaders like you who are elected and whose mission is to serve, not to dominate. So if you'd like to, please join me in praying to the one who's truly powerful. Lord, thank you for the riches you've given us here in Chandler, for prosperity, democracy, and for many good leaders. Today we ask that you would help the people of Ukraine. Please hear the cries of everyone who wants freedom and open a pathway to peace. I pray that you would raise up leaders who follow you to do what's right. And I pray that you would give them healing and protection, even in these worst of times. And today, we commit to the people of Chandler, Arizona, that we will lead as servants. Please give us the wisdom to see what is truly right and give us the courage to do it. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
with liberty and justice for all.
and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Council Member. For scheduled public appearances, since we've got a smaller crowd, we're going to make those who are not here envious. I'd like to invite all of council in front, and Councilmember Rowe, if you want to stay behind, I know you're welcome to, or come join us up front. All right.
Amazing.
All right. First, we have a proclamation that Chandler is now a Golden Rule City. I would like to call up Dr. James Campbell, Reverend Larry Forts, and Mrs. Basha. If you three would come on up. Let me read this. We'll go from there. All right. Whereas on May 13th, 2003, Arizona became a Golden Rule State, and the city of Chandler values the wonderful diversity of people, cultures, faiths, and languages that make up our community. And whereas the famous Golden Rule asks everyone to treat others as you would like to be treated, and whereas through the application of the Golden Rule, we will have positive effects on individuals we meet and the society in which we live. And whereas by working to eliminate hate and intolerance of all people, cultures, and faiths through preaching and leading by example, we can express kindness, generosity, and courtesy. And whereas the city of Chandler looks forward to joining other Golden Rule cities in Arizona, and whereas our schools, community organizations, leaders, parents, and children would benefit by recognizing, teaching, and practicing the Golden Rule as a tool for kindness and civility. And whereas as individuals and as a community, we aspire to reduce or eliminate prejudice and hate and increase kindness and civility in all areas of our lives, especially in the city of Chandler. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Hartke, Mayor of the City of Chandler, Arizona, do hereby proclaim that the City of Chandler is a Golden Rule City. Larry, would you like to share some words?
Thank you, Mayor.
Amazing.
This is a wonderful moment. You have joined a special group of people, 13 other cities in the state of Arizona who are Golden Rule cities. But this is unique because you're the only city in Arizona that is a Golden Rule city named Chandler. So it is unique to this city indeed. We have 4 words at the Arizona Interfaith Movement. It's called respect, civility, kindness, and empathy. And it's wonderful that you, the citizens of Chandler, have a mayor and a consul who recognizes the importance of those 4 words, and that anyone coming into this city will have the opportunity to be shared with those who believe in that manner to treat one another. So congratulations, Mayor Hartke, City Council. Thank you for this opportunity to share. One more thing, and that is we have a Golden Rule banquet coming up on April 2nd at the Mesa Convention Center at 6 o'clock. And being the new kid on the block, you haven't gotten this information yet. But we're asking our Golden Rule cities to name one person in the last 2 or 3 years as a Golden Rule hero who have really given back to the community during this COVID crisis. We will honor them at the banquet, and then I will come here and provide them with a plaque and honor them at the City Council meeting following. So thank you, and God bless you.
Let's take a picture.
Thank
I thought
you.
you told me you were going to talk for
Thank
2 or 3
you.
hours. That went so quickly. Sure did. Very good. Our next proclamation is Disabilities Awareness Month. The Mayor's Committee for People with Disabilities serves as a liaison between the City Council and citizens of Chandler to increase awareness and accessibility and to provide programs for individuals with disabilities who live in Chandler. The members of the Mayor's Committee on disabilities recognize the people with disabilities in the community and strive to increase their opportunities for success in Chandler. In addition, they help with issues such as education and employment using their stipend program. At this point, I would like to invite Jeff Deaver, Kim Foy, and Aaron Fortner as members of the Mayor's Committee for People with Disabilities to join me in accepting this proclamation and declaring the month of March as Disability Awareness Month, ensuring that people in the community have a greater understanding of the importance of individuals with disabilities and their impact on society. And Councilmember, would you like to read the proclamation?
The last time I forgot my glasses. Thank you, Mayor. Whereas the month of March has been observed annually as the Disability Awareness Month in Arizona and has been recognized through a joint resolution by Congress of the United States and by the President proclamations. And whereas the Mayor's Committee for People with Disability was formed to serve as a liaison between the City Council and the general community in matters regarding people with disabilities. And whereas a priority for the City of Chandler is to provide individuals with disabilities the opportunity and the support to live in homes and communities where such individuals can exercise their full rights and responsibilities as citizens, pursue meaningful and productive lives, contribute to their family, community, state, and nation, and have independent friendships and relationships with others to achieve full inclusiveness in our society. Therefore, Kevin Harkey, this guy, Mayor of the City of Chandler, Arizona, do hereby proclaim March 2022 as Disabilities Awareness Month.
And would you like to say anything, Aaron? As I know you're new on our commission, but we're also going to recognize some folks. But
Just thankful to be here.
right. Short and sweet. So we have some disability awards, of awareness awards, and I'd like to call them up, and if we could have a picture with them, with us in council, and then if the awardees could stand to the side, and then we'll take a picture with everyone together as well. So first we have Julie Stewart from Habilitator of the Year. Julie. All right, let's take a picture. Well, you can just wait off to the side. We'll come back here. Secondly, we have Alicia Ronsky, and I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong, Educator of the Year. Alicia. How are you?
Alicia Rocky.
I got it.
Super close. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
And next, Savannah Branham, Student of the Year. Savannah. And the Employer of the Year is Sprouts Market. Is anyone from Sprouts? Were they able to make it? I didn't think they were. All right, so let's give a round of applause for Sprouts Market and then take a picture with everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Council, we're going to go back to the days, but we do have a presentation on teen dating violence awareness. Our Domestic Violence Commissioner Chair, Polly Nape, is going to give us a presentation. Polly.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us out tonight. I'm Polly. I'm here on behalf of our Domestic Violence Commission, obviously. So I don't know if you guys know this, but it's Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. So that's very exciting. And their color is orange. So I think there's a delay right now. But yep, there we go. We're going to have lots of orange happening this month and this week. And we wanted to just come out and share some facts and resources tonight. And then tell you guys a little bit about what the commission is doing this month and into next month to educate our teens and work with our schools in the Chandler area. So throughout the presentation, you're going to see a couple things. So up in the corner here, and I think you guys can see it on your screens, right? So there are little boxes. So those boxes are what we've spent the month kind of putting onto some of the Chandler social media through the police department, so that we're doing kind of an ongoing education campaign with statistics and kind of how anyone in the community might be able to interact with a teen or anyone else that they're concerned about domestic violence in those teenage relationships. So wanted to start by just sharing some facts about teen dating violence. It's really a lot more common than we think. So obviously 1 in 3 teens will experience some sort of physical, sexual, or emotional abuse by someone they're in a relationship with before they become an adult. Oh no. Sorry. There we go. And then nearly 1 in 11 females and 1 in 14 male high school students report having experienced some sort of physical dating violence in the last year. And that information comes from our CDC website, and they do these surveys of high school students to engage them in getting the information. So 1 in 8 females and 1 in 26 male high school students report having experienced some sort of sexual dating violence in the last year. And 33% of adolescents are victim to sexual, physical, verbal, or emotional dating abuse. And then what we know is, right, it's a lot more kids than we think about. I know I have a daughter, and she's 15, and she goes to school here in Chandler and all those things. And these statistics become kind of astonishing to me. But what's even more important than just those statistics is kind of thinking about the long-term effects for these kiddos, right? So what we know is teens who suffer dating abuse are subject to long-term consequences such as alcoholism, eating disorders, promiscuity, thoughts of suicide, and violent behaviors. So I work in the behavioral health field. I'm a director for a children's program that's a statewide children's program. We have an office here in Chandler, so we love that. But one of the things we've seen over the past 2 years is a large increase in our attempted suicides with teenagers. And so that's been a really big part of COVID. So outreach is even more important than it ever has been. What we also saw statistically is when people were locked in their homes, weren't getting out to talk to other adults in the community or kids at schools, that violence within the home became worse and dating violence became worse. So my last shocking statistic for you tonight is 50% of young people who experience rape or physical or sexual abuse will attempt to commit suicide at some time across their lifespan. So getting to these kids early is the best thing we can do. And when we're talking about intimate partner violence, it can be really hard to talk about, right? Like, what even is it? That's a big word, intimate partner violence. So what we do as a kind of a whole when we're looking at this is we define it in 4 different ways. And it's kind of our gateway to talking about healthy relationships across the board. So the 4 ways we define that is physical abuse, obviously, right? This is the first one that always comes to mind when we talk about domestic violence, that it means someone has to be hitting me or physically hurting me. And that's absolutely not the case. It really often starts before that with psychological abuse. Also, sexual abuse is part of that spectrum. And then lastly is stalking or coercive control. So when we look at this whole spectrum of intimate partner violence, when we talk about psychological violence and stalking, that can include things like financial control in a home, right? If someone's not allowed money or food or time with their friends, isolation, we often see how that's how this cycle starts, right? It starts the same way for kids. right? You can't hang out with this friend over here at lunch. You can't, they're restrictive in that action. It's the gateway um, to the intimate partner violence. So this is another one of our little PSAs that's gone up on the web, and it's that everyone deserves healthy relationships, and really trying to encourage people to talk about it because we know that these aren't all easy conversations to have. So another gateway into really easily talking to kids about this is learning about the healthy relationship spectrum. So with my daughter, it's like, well, what is even a healthy relationship? And we toss these words around, and who even knows, right? So the loveisrespect.org is a great website. We'll talk just briefly about that in our resources, but they provide all sorts of things, including this healthy relationship to abusive and unhealthy relationship spectrum. So just kind of a little information for you guys to take back when you're having these conversations. Or if you're hearing something, or your son or daughter or a friend of the family is hearing something, you'd be like, wait a second, I think that's part of an abusive relationship. Or communicating this information with kids. All of these graphics are created for kids. They're created to be able to have adult-child interactions, and also for kids to have these conversations with each other and help each other out. So having a courageous conversation is super important, and one of the biggest things we want to promote here today. So where to go to learn more? For this little social media square there, we have that youth and young adults deserve information and support when it comes to talking about dating abuse. So I learned in joining the commission and putting this presentation together a lot more about teen dating violence over the past few months. And I found we have this website, we've used it as a resource here in Chandler for years, and it's called loveisrespect.org. So a lot of our information comes from here. This is kind of all the information. If people need it, you can live chat on the website. There's a phone number, or kids can text in, or adults to loveis 22522 to get more resources and information. And this is all geared towards young people, right? So it's all about having these open conversations that are in an appropriate tone for teenagers, all of that. And then we've also brought some resources here tonight. So out on the table, you guys can find all of these. We've brought a Healthy Relationships High School Educators Toolkit, our Wheel of Power and Control, the Relationship Spectrum, so that one that we just saw up there with healthy relationships, a parent discussion guide if there are any parents out there that want to talk to their kids about teen dating violence, and then also just a sheet of statistics so we can help share kind of what an issue it is during this month. Oh, and one more thing I didn't have on the slides is I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're doing with our schools. So the Domestic Violence Commission has partnered with the Chandler High Schools, and we're going in, and during their lunch hours, we have tabling events where we have a member of the commission, interns, our police department partners, and talk about teen dating violence awareness, have a big wheel, go through all the healthy relationships. There's candy and fun activities and goodies for the kids just to raise awareness and be there for them. So I think at this point we have 4 scheduled tabling events, and then we've decided it should be a little longer. So we're going to take it into March too. So we've extended that into March so that we can capture more schools and kids in that way.
Thank you, Polly. And you mentioned a table. Is that out in the foyer?
Just out in the foyer, all the resources.
And all the other information that you shared is available online as well for people who are watching. Great.
Yep. Yeah. All at loveisrespected.org.
Great. And to our audience, both Polly and Aaron are part of our first class of Civic. So it's kind of fun what we started as a get introduced to the city of Chandler, and to now see people serve and do some great work for the city as part of our boards. We're running our second class right now, and we'll look forward to continuing that. So thank you for your work.
Yeah, thank
Council, any questions?
Mayor, real quick.
Councilmember Lando.
Polly, thank you very much for your presentation. So where does most of your funding come from?
So I believe it all comes from the city.
Good. I'm serious. Do you have you could actually put other donations, things like that? If you want, you have a link for that as well? So other folks could actually donate to their agency?
Oh, for Arizona Children's Association? Yeah. Yes, we do. And that's for azca.org.
Okay.
And it's AZCA.
Okay.
It's Arizona Children's Association.
Got it. I always learned it a long time ago, close the deal with asking for money, so.
I like it. I'm all thrown off guard. I'm like, what money? Where?
So,
No, and we can always use funding for the services. for the
obviously.
kids.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council member, is that why you've been the most successful council member ever in Chandler?
Asking for money.
Thank you, Polly.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Good information. Council, everything is on consent, but since we didn't have a study session on Monday, there are some comments or statements or a little more briefing. So I'd like to do those first, and then take a motion. So I'm going to work through these. I know items number 1, 2, and 9. Councilmember Harris just wanted to take some remarks on how this helps Chandler. Then we'll go back to 4 with Councilmember Orlando. Councilmember Harris.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Turn on your thing. Thank you.
Turn it on. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to make a couple of, I wanted to bring items 1 and 2. These 2 items together represent more than $1.4 million in grant dollars that is coming to Chandler for the municipal airport, and that can be used to advance the important capital projects as identified in our new airport master plan that we're very proud of. Also, Chandler has become it's a very busy airport. So Chandler Municipal Airport continues to be one of the busiest general aviation airports in the country. And the airport area surrounding the airport is one of Chandler's fastest growing employment corridors. So I want to thank our airport staff. I see our manager out there. A big hand clap to you and our commissioners that continue to work. And I had the honor of being the last commissioner that will represent. And as we allow them to kind of, do what they need to do, we'll be watching, but we'll be letting them kind of move a little forward together and getting back with us. But it was really a great joy. And then also item number 9, I'm going to have city manager. I'm going to send it over to the city manager so we can have economic development come forward to speak on this item.
Sure. Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, if I could have Edie McCall from our Economic Development team come forward to make a brief presentation on this item.
Thank you. Tonight before you have RenChem, a Fortune 500 company in the chemical management solutions, providing high purity and pre-packaged chemicals and gases. They operate 16 warehouses locations in the U.S. with operations in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, totaling 27 globally, with over 650 staff worldwide. RenChem is a supplier to one of Chandler's targeted industries, or high-tech manufacturing. To stay competitive in their market, they come before Council this evening for your support on a Foreign Trade Zone subzone application. The Foreign Trade Zone subzone allows a significant reduction in custom duties and tariffs on imported goods. Please allow me to introduce to you Robert Toledo, Construction and Property Manager, and Michael Gingerella, the Global Business Development with RenChem. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Do you guys have any direct questions for RenChem?
No, we don't. I just wanted to let everyone know that I appreciate you guys, and I wanted to make sure that we extend the notice to everyone that Chandler is globally competitive community, and due to our intentional efforts to be an export-oriented city, so a lot of individuals may not know that we have a great international working relationship with our outer communities, such as companies like yours that helps us be good partners in the world. And so I wanted to bring it forward to say thank you, and thank you to staff for doing such an amazing job. I know Micah has continued to lead that way, and your exports and imports is safe in Chandler. And so I just wanted to bring it to everyone to serve notice. Hey, this is a great place for you to start your business and to work with great companies with importing and exporting your goods. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you guys very much for having us here. We've enjoyed being in business in Chandler. So
Awesome.
again, we thank you and appreciate your support.
Thank you.
And I'd also echo just the words of council member. I know we gave you guys a shout out as part of our State of the City. We're pleased that you're part of a group of customers and companies that are proud to call Chandler home. And I know that our economic development team and others will continue to make sure that you're able to do what you need to do to thrive and bring the services to the companies that you do. So thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to close to ask for $1 million.
You're a man of my heart.
Wow. Be careful what you ask for, council member.
Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you could ask.
It's a Bible verse that says you have not because you ask not. So well done. Councilmember Orlando, item number 4, you asked for a briefing.
Yeah, Mayor, this program's been going on for some time, but it's such a great program. And in fact, I worked many years with General Maxon, who was a previous judge. I actually started this program. General Maxon and I served in the Guard together. And I just think it's another a good story, because we do hear a lot of negative things about what's going on in our communities. And I've always said this before, Mayor, and I know I've heard you say this. This is where the real work gets done, right here at the city level and the towns and all the communities around our nation. So all the other stuff, that's just stuff. You want water, we make it happen. You want a good municipal court, we make it happen. So I just want you to tell a little bit about the Veterans Court, what it really means to the citizens of Chandler, and what we're doing good things there.
Thank you.
Welcome, Judge Skupin.
Thank you, Mayor, Councilmember Orlando, council members. I am really honored to tell you more about our Veterans Court. Item number 4 on the agenda is the IGA with the City of Tempe that allows our court to continue on. This is the 7th year that we're in our Veterans Court, and this IGA will continue it on for 5 more years. It is really a rewarding program. We are able to connect veterans that have unfortunately connected with the criminal justice system with resources and help to get them better off. So unfortunately, when they are serving our country in the military capacity, they have interactions and experiences that might cause them to have PTSD, alcohol abuse, substance abuse. They may have some mental trauma. But for their service, they may not have had these issues come up. And so this court is really a wonderful service to our community, our members of the military that have those incidents come up. There's minor incidents, a domestic violence situation with a family member because of their alcohol abuse, or a DUI because they were upset and drove out of their house for some reason or another. So we do have a wonderful partnership with our city law department, with our city prosecutor, and with her assistance and the court's ability to facilitate this, and our work with the Veterans Court through Maricopa County, we have all of these resources for veterans. So we've got great success stories, people that connected with VA services for counseling, substance abuse, even a housing assistance if they need it. So we see about 40 to 50 people per year. Our numbers have increased. So this fiscal year, we're expecting about 60 members of our military to go through this Veterans Court. And the funding has already been allotted from the last fiscal year. We asked for this money for this year. So we're asking for council to approve this IGA. It really is a great benefit to the community. It has a ripple effect, because once we're able to help a veteran, not only does it help that person, it helps their family members and then the community. And it really does impact our quality of life here in Chandler. And it is specifically, as Councilmember Orlando says, the bread and butter here in our city is where the things happen, is in our city courts. It doesn't happen in the Superior Court, doesn't happen in the Supreme Court. It happens here day to day on the ground, working with the people that come and interact with us. And this is just one small way that we can assist and pay back the members of the military that served for us. So we appreciate that, and I'm happy to take any questions.
I have no questions.
Council, any questions?
Just want to say thank you again. Continue to help our veterans. We need all the help. We have a Veterans Commission in the city of Chandler, and I hope that we are incorporating those individuals into the conversation so that way they can get the word out to our Veterans Commission, to our veteran community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Skupin. And item number 16 as well, Councilmember Orlando.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I've asked the staff, this is another good story that I think the residents need to understand what we're doing. Again, sometimes we get criticized what we do with federal funding, and sometimes get criticized what we're doing our own dollars. Um, so I've asked Leah to at least give us a little background what we're doing here, and what are some of the tangent areas that we're moving in to help our residents.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. The item that you have before you tonight, item number 16, is a companion item to a resolution that we brought to council on December 9th at the December 9th council meeting. What this does is it allows the city to work with Maricopa County on our emergency rental assistance funding. This is an enhancement for our community as it allows residents to now be able to apply online for these very important dollars. And then in turn, the county will subcontract with the SIN to process the applications. And one of the big benefits to our residents is they can go and log in at any point and have real-time status of where their application is. The item tonight is $7 million in reallocated emergency rental assistance funds. These funds were reallocated by the state. It was the state suggested to the Treasury that these funds go to Chandler. And there were two reasons for that. One, certainly the need was here. And second of all, we did very well with allocating our first round of emergency rental assistance. In addition, the city is receiving approximately $6.3 million in emergency rental assistance 2 funding, and that too is on your agenda tonight. You will be accepting these funds and then again approving the intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County for the administration of these funds, or the allocation out to the community.
Mayor, so what I understand though, Ascend will still be helping folks that doesn't have access to the computer, and they actually come into their office and they could work with them in their whole office, correct?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, there have been several systems set up to be able to help residents in need that either are not able to access a computer or may have some challenges with using it. The county themselves has processed. We have our CARES team that can assist, as well as Ascent. So we will make sure that if anybody has any challenges with using a computer, we will have someone to help them.
Okay, great. So additional funding, is that coming down as well, or this is probably the end of the activity?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, the city has been advised that we have about another $18 million of need in our community. So we have submitted paperwork to the Treasury to ask for additional funds. That could come from, again, if the state decides that they want to reallocate some of their funds, it could come from a national sweep of funds of communities that are not expending. At this point, we really have no indication if we will get any additional money, but we did put a request in to match what the analysis of the need was in our community.
All right, I appreciate it. And again, I think this spun out a little control here because I was getting some different stories. There was different issues at one time. I certainly appreciate you educating me and getting this back on track. So we'll definitely want to see this. My only other concern was obviously Ascend's done a great job in our community. There's a trust relationship built there. You could say a lot about people to people, personality and work together. So that's important that we keep them engaged because they are, quote, the boots on the ground, the folks that are making it really happen. So hopefully keep them engaged, obviously, figure out how we could work with them. And number two, my biggest issue, and you and I chatted with you about this as well as city manager, is the need going toward the citizens that really need it. And I know there's administrative fees that have to be stripped off. I know there's programmatic fees, but I want to make sure that, sorry, I put my hands down here. Being Italian, it's tough not to talk with your hands. But anyway, yeah, you have the same problem. No, seriously, I just want to make sure that we're guaranteeing the residents that the funding is going to the people that need it and not to administrative fees and things like that.
Yes, through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, the Treasury actually has a 10% cap on how much money can go through administration. So whether it is the county cutting a check directly to the landlord, whether it's Ascend processing the applications, city staff doing our portion of administration, between the three of us, there can be no more than 10% of the dollars
Great.
that are kept for administration. And I will tell you that even with the Era 1 initial allocation, that we were able to use less than the 10% on administration. Also, the county, there was certainly a gap between when we had the Era 1 funding and this Era 2, or the Era 1 reallocated funding going out to the community. So there was a backlog of applications. The county themselves are using their own staff to help process the backlog, and they're using their own funding to pay for those expenses.
All right. Yeah, the last thing we want to do is put more people on the street. So we certainly appreciate what's going on with this funding. Thank you. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, City Manager, too.
Council, any other questions or comments? Councilmember Harris.
Yes, Leah, your team have done a phenomenal job. I shared the story of when this past Christmas, where a resident really needed the support and needed to get through, and they needed help with rental assistance, and they was facing eviction in less than a week. Your team during Christmas break came through, made sure it happened. City manager, your team did great, and we was able to get that resident help. I know that you guys are doing a great job. I know Ascend is working, and you guys have been very efficient with the resources that has been allocated to the city of Chandler. And I can tell you that many residents have reached out to me and have told me personally what a wonderful job you guys are doing. So keep up the good work, and I'm glad to have you guys a part of Team Chandler. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really have the citizens' best interest at heart, and I can speak for my department, the county, and Ascend that it's really about serving our residents.
Please pass our thanks, as Councilmember Orlando mentioned, to Ascend to for the legacy of great work and touching the needy in our community for decades.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Council, those are all the items that have been called in. Without anything else, a motion would be appropriate.
Mayor.
Councilmember Orlando.
Right. I move that we approve the City Council regular meeting dated Thursday, February 24th, 2022, items 1 through 30. Yes. 31.
Yes,
So,
second.
Yeah, right.
We have a second with Councilmember Harris. Any final comments, recusals, anything, Council? And
Mayor, I'm sorry.
Councilmember.
Yeah, just item 11. I'll be voting yes, obviously, for the entire item, but that one little area about streets, I'm still stuck on. I'm going to vote no on that one. Remember, we left it off there. I'm just teasing. Don't you? I'll let it go.
Second.
Here, have a glass of water. All right, and we are able to do this electronically? All right, thank you. Council, please vote.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Council online as well. Next on our agenda tonight is a public hearing. And well, wait a second, just watching the clock. There we go. It's an inside joke. We have annexation public hearing, ANX 210007, southeast corner of Chandler Heights Road and 124th Street, approximately 10.12 acres located at the southeast corner of Chandler Heights Road, 124th Street. This opens a hearing, and love the staff presentation. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Before you this evening is the first step for an annexation. We're here before you for a public hearing. As the mayor said, it's located at the southeast corner of Chandler Heights Road and 124th Street. More generally located a half mile east of the southeast corner of McQueen and Chandler Heights Road. The subject property consists of 3 parcels totaling approximately 10.12 acres. Currently, the site has a single-family home and agricultural uses within the 3 properties. It's currently zoned RU43 within Maricopa County. Surrounding land uses to the east and to the south are large lot properties that are currently within Maricopa County. To the east, or pardon me, to the west is 124th Street. And then west of that is a development that was approved in 2020, Tree Land. It was a single family subdivision of 83 lots. To the north, we have Chandler Heights Road. And then north of that, we have a public elementary and junior high. Utilities are available from Chandler Heights Road, sewer and water. Per our general plan, the subject site is designated as neighborhoods. within the subject site falls within our Southeast Chandler area plan and is designated as rural agrarian character. Planning staff is currently reviewing an application for rezoning from AG1, that would be the initial city zoning, to PAD for single-family homes, as well as a preliminary development plan for a single-family subdivision along with housing product. And that will be before you on an April agenda. And with that, I open the floor for any questions.
Council, any questions related to this? Seeing none. Any discussion or questions from the audience? Seeing none. Thank you, Lauren. I'd like to close our public hearing. Next on our agenda tonight are current events. I've got a few I'd like to share. I do want to thank everyone who attended our State of the City last Thursday. It really was a fantastic celebration event of what industry, what neighborhoods, what our staff, and certainly council with the decisions and focus that you have established to bring forth to our city. It was a big honor to be there to honor our kids. I do want to send a special thank you to our Chandler Changemakers that we highlighted and the winners of our youth art contest. We had some amazing youth talent out there. It was really refreshing to see. So thank you, city. Thank you, community, for really giving us a great reason to celebrate. Second, I'd like to just bring to our attention Arizona Railway Day. Join us this Saturday from 9 to 4 at Arizona Railway Museum for Railway Day. You can enjoy displays of artifacts and memorabilia, tours of vintage rail cars, and learn about the historical importance of railroads from museum volunteers. And will there be any hot dogs at that event, Mr. Kiwanis, sir? Yes. All right. And enjoy a good Kiwana dog. And next, hopefully I'm not stealing everyone else's thunder, but the Ostrich Festival is back. So that was worth raising our voice for. It's going to be back 2 weekends this year. So please join the Chandler Chamber March 11th, 12th, and 13th, as well as March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th for live entertainment, a carnival, rides, and delicious food. We will have the Beach Boys there, Four Tops. Who's the Temptations? Thank you. And Nelly, I knew you couldn't resist the temptation to say something, but it will be a great, outstanding community celebration. And then finally, I would like to just bring awareness for our Senior Expo. I invite you to our Senior Expo on March 9th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Chandler Community Center. You can receive information, or if you have seniors in your lives related to healthcare, municipal services, recreation, technology, and entertainment. It's always a fun event, and listening to some of the stories from people who have stories to tell. Councilmember Harris.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As we know, we are celebrating Black History Month, and it's almost over. It's like it's the shortest month of the year. But I will say that Pastor Victor Hardy is having the African American banquet at Chandler Gilbert Community College, 2626 East Pecos Road, this Friday at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So he is inviting Chandler Men of Action. He's a founder, but he is inviting everyone to come and celebrate with the African American banquet. It's going to be a great event. Pastor Hardy is right there in the back, as always, dependable and reliable, right here in the meeting. So if you have any further questions, don't ask me. Ask him. But also, I want to make sure that the Chandler Center of the Arts is at 7 o'clock. They are having a musical, celebrating African American music. They're having a musical this Friday as well, and that's going to go from 7 to 8:30ish or 9 o'clock or so. So if you would like to check out more Black History programming, definitely go to the Chandler Center of the Arts immediately following the banquet with Pastor Victor Hardy and Men of Action. With that being said, thanks, Mayor.
All right, Pastor Hardy, I've gone to this every year but one, and we've never done an hour. So I'm just assuming that this is going to go on, and so you're going to be picking and choosing. this isn't just 6 to 7. I just have been around. I thought so. I've been there before. It's a great event, but 6 to 7, I didn't think so. 6 to 9. Thank you.
Bring your party shoes. We're going to party from 6 to 9.
And don't be tardy. Vice Mayor.
I think you got that sorted out, so nothing for me. Thank you.
Councilmember Orlando.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thanks.
City Manager.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. With that, concludes the meeting.